First, it used to be pretty obvious, in fact, the most obvious thing of all, that if you molest a child, you can't live among us. You go to jail. But in California, where the rules have been completely inverted, only decent people are punished, the government there is springing thousands of child molesters. Hard to believe that, but it's true. For details, we go tonight to Josh Boswell, a senior reporter at the Daily Mail, who broke this story. Josh, thanks so much for coming on. What have you found in the state of California?
So there is a database in the state of California that allows people to look up sex offenders, people who live near to them maybe. But what you can't do is look at the database en masse to look at the statistics from it. So I wrote a bit of code to pull down some of that public information, had a look at it, and what we found was there are over 7,000 paedophiles who have been convicted of lewd and lascivious acts against an under 14-year-old. Who spent less than a year in prison or in jail, which was quite shocking, and some of the examples really stuck out to me. So we were looking at someone like Noah Holt, who we highlighted in the story, from Santa Cruz County. He was convicted of those lewd and lascivious acts with an under 14, child porn, indecent exposure, and he pled no contest in 2013. He was out with a job in 2014. You've got similar examples. Carlos Nahue, continuous sexual abuse of a child he was convicted of in 2015. He spent 2 days in jail, and he now lives 1 block from a daycare, according to the database, which is in California, run by the California Department of Justice. We asked them to give us the data, but they refused, and so I had to write this script to put this all together so that I could show the public this information.
So just to be clear, these are not technical sex crimes. This is not a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old getting frisky at the prom and getting arrested. This is child molestation. It's molesting little kids, prepubescent kids.
That's right. Yeah, there is this kind of sense that maybe there's a few people in that database who haven't really been convicted of anything super serious, but actually there are 19,000 of the 55,000 that we saw who were convicted of this, molesting under 14s. These are serious offences, and these are people who are spending just a few months in prison for these really awful, heinous crimes.
I mean, how can Gavin Newsom allow this to happen? He's the governor of the state. The state is hiding the data from the public and from journalists like you. Has he said anything about this? It's his state.
So, yeah, I reached out to the Attorney General's office, and because they're the ones who administer this database. And Gavin Newsom himself hasn't spoken on this at all. But what they were telling me is that, this isn't their problem. It's the courts. It's the local DAs. But really, this is a problem for the whole state of California. And prosecutors I spoke to said that this could be partly a result of wanting to release prisoners early from prison because they're wanting to let non-violent offenders out, rather, and reduce the prison population. The problem is that among those, quote, non-violent offenders are some of these paedophiles who have a high risk of reoffending, according to studies done on those kinds of people.
Yeah, almost certain risk below a certain age. I mean, if you're under 75, you're probably going to reoffend, molest another child. Unbelievable. Josh Boswell, thank you so much.
Thank you.